Welcome, everyone, to Leadership, the Secret Sauce with coaches Dave Lipsky and Matt Dodson, where we are delving into the realms of leadership and coaching. Join us as we sit down with remarkable leaders and coaches. And today we have one, Robert Garcia, uncovering his unique insights and strategies to make him truly exceptional. We'll explore the question, what is your secret sauce, and when and how did you know? Unveiling the hidden ingredients behind his success. Are you ready? Before we begin, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Character Matters Coaching and Consulting, where they believe that your character is the compass guiding you through life's journey. Whether you're facing personal or professional challenges, they are dedicated to helping you discover and strengthen the core values that define who you are. Dave, who do we have today on the show?
I am excited to welcome Robert Garcia. Welcome, Robert. How are you doing today?
I am doing better than terrific.
Ooh.
This is awesome. We have a check-in question for you. We start with coaches. On a scale from 1 to 10, your energy level, 1 being low, 10 being high, what energy level are you at?
Let's say 8. 'Cause it's early, and I haven't had my second cup of coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. And where in the world, what area in the world are you calling in from?
I am currently in my home office in Miami, getting ready to board a plane later this afternoon to Madrid, Spain. Life is good.
Wow.
It's business. It's business, not there's obviously a little pleasure, but
I like it. And you only travel to places that start with the letter M?
correct, absolutely. Maldives, Malaysia. I love it.
Minnesota?
Only in the spring
Summer.
and summer. So I've been to 92 countries, and you may have known by my bio, and I think travel and experiencing different cultures and talking to different people is a passion of mine.
Very cool. I'm gonna ask you to do a little intro in a minute. I'm gonna go to Matt and say, Matt, where's your energy level on that scale 1 to 10?
I'm going to just say it. I'm at 9.5 right now.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's very impressive. I mean, that's high. That's impressive.
Well,
Any
I've been looking
particular?
forward to this conversation for a while. So this is Robert and I have been able to
Bonded.
touch base a couple of
Bonded.
other times. Yes, I'm excited.
I love it. I started out when we were just saying hello at an 8, and then Robert's positive energy has lifted me up to a 9.
All
So
right.
I'm digging the positive energy, and I also had this little visual of going to Madrid. So that
Always
helps us.
good. Puts you in the right mindset.
So on the plane to Madrid, Robert, somebody's going to ask you. They're going to turn to you and say, "Oh, hi, what do you do?" How do you answer that?
One of my favorite questions. And obviously, I work for the International Coaching Federation. And I think that everybody knows what coaching is and what coaching isn't, right? So every now and then, not a lot, but I'll say I'm vice president, or I work for the International Coaching Federation. And my business unit, or what we call family organization, supports the growth of coaching within organizations. So that's my elevator speech. Every now and then, I'll get somebody who says, "Oh, that's really interesting. Tell me more." Great, I love that. Or sometimes, in fact, just recently ran into somebody that I hadn't seen in a while. He said, "What are you doing?" "I work for the International Coaching Federation." He says, "Oh, that's really cool. What sport?"
Nice.
And I'm like, all of them. Then of course you're like, it's business coaching. It's really working with individuals, not sports coaching. So, but when you work for ICF, you think everybody knows what coaching is,
Yeah.
and the difference between sports coaching and what we do.
Robert, how long has the coaching and organizations been around? Because for those of you that don't know, that's maybe listening, you may know about ICF, but you don't know about this coaching and organizations. And I came across it. It's now probably been a couple years ago, and big promoter. So just tell us a little bit, like, How did it come about? Yeah.
Yeah, so it was one ICF, one we had members servicing and supporting everyone, and the board, there was one global board, got together and said there are distinct areas that need more focus and support. So let's go out and build an ecosystem. So they designed we have 6 family organizations, professional coaches being the largest with individual membership, thought leadership, foundation, credentials and standards. Coaching education is another one, and then coaching in organizations. So it's been around. I think it's going on 4 years that we developed it, and really have now each individual family organization has their individual board. So that's what we're doing in Madrid. All of the boards, 7 boards,
Wow.
they're all volunteers, and we're all coming together, assembling together. And so we were one ICF. Now we're 6 distinct family organizations. And we're talking about, let's talk about being or working as one ICF, because we built all these little family organizations, but we need collaboration among all organizations, and it exists, but as you can imagine, everybody's focused on supporting and servicing their individual stakeholders. We just need to take a step back and say we need to continue to work together so that we can benefit from each other.
Nice. So we really don't have Robert here talking about ICF specifically, but for those of you that really kind of want to know, like some of the other things that you may not be aware of, if you work in a company or organization and you want to reach out and find a way to get in touch with ICF, especially the coaching organizations, unsolicited testimonial for me, I will tell you some of their webinars and their discussions are really top drawer. They really, and I have found them. Marsha Reynolds, for those of you who know about Marsha Reynolds, she spoke. I immediately bought her book, found it to be fascinating in terms of just her approach to say, look, this is how to really get at some of the thing underneath the thing in coaching. And I was like, this is fantastic. So anyway, I would
Thank you for
totally
that.
recommend. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
really valued you as a member organization, or as a representative of a member organization. We
Yeah.
miss you, but we're happy that that you found your happiness elsewhere.
So, Robert, as a coach, like what is your secret sauce as you think about it? How do you show up uniquely you?
I've been thinking about this a lot, and certainly as a coach, probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my career, to be with individuals, to talk about some of the issues, listen and help them really reflect. I think my secret sauce is curiosity, humor. I think has a lot to do with it. In difficult situations when individuals are sharing and really finding it difficult, things pop in my head, and I say, and I used to say, I want to be funny. I'm funny, but now I say things that people find funny because I don't know if I'm funny or not. But that in particular in difficult situations, it helps smooth kind of the tension, and I think it's all in my personality. I was blessed with whatever this is that makes people feel comfortable. I've been told that I'm very approachable, that people can feel comfortable saying things to me, and I think that's a great element to have as a coach.
Mm.
Listening, asking questions is all important, and that's why I think I find coaching so rewarding.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It makes me, I discovered that immediately when we were talking. You're just very easy to talk to, very easy to find the humorous points. No, safety. I'm going back to what you said before, which is when you said you're going to Madrid to help bring, multiple families of the ICF together. And I think of that article of teaching smart people to learn. Like it's a challenge. Like it's just always challenging. So how do you teach people that coach others to collaborate?
Imagine being surrounded by how many are we? Probably close to 40 people, and everybody is a coach. So I have an HR background. So I started in operations, got into HR through training and development. Eventually worked for Lee Hecht Harrison and became an executive coach. Did a lot of executive coaching. And executive coaching is a little different than the definition of coaching, right? So there's you're dealing with senior level people. So I've been to a lot of HR conferences. I found my tribe when I went to Converge. Converge is our biannual program, surrounded by coaches, and I'm like, oh my God, these people get me. They understand me. And when I met Matt, on the phone and then in person, we instantly connected. There was this bond and then so yes, I don't think it's like when psychologists meet, because they probably psychoanalyze themselves. I think coaches are collaborative and forthcoming and curious, and that's such a positive energy, that I see your cap that says curiosity. I love that, and it's that sense of community that we're all in this to make people reach their full potential. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And it's every interaction that we have.
Hmm.
And I say that, and I warn you and your listeners, don't try coaching on your spouse. I don't know
Amen.
if you've tried it, but it doesn't work.
No, I mean, there's elements, I think, of accepting that you no longer know the answer to be a good coach is probably good marriage advice. I'm just thinking. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
It's
Not
like,
sure.
don't try that coaching thing on me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yes, I've gotten that. And
I'm just asking a question.
that doesn't sound like a question. That sounds like an accusation. But just to be clear.
R- Hey, Robert, when did you know that sort of curiosity, collaboration, contribution
Uh,
beyond the converge, right? So I I know exactly what you're feeling because I was like, hey, it felt like we had been friends a long time. And that was just,
yeah, yeah.
but when did you know, like, hey, that's what I'm bringing to the table?
I'd like to answer that with not only when did I know, but when did I figure it out?
Mm,
Because I think I've known that I'm curious and approachable and collaborative. I enjoy people. I enjoy learning about their background and their culture, and that's one of the reasons I love to travel so much. But when I figured it out, was when I used to work for Sherm, and I left Sherm and started coaching on my own again. So I worked for LHH, and they would schedule me with chemistry calls, right? So they'd send my bio, and then the potential coachee would have two or three people that they would interview. And I was like, the first few chemistry calls, they'd select somebody else because I was showing up serious. This is business. I'm your coach. Yeah, I want to listen to you. What are some of your issues? But I wasn't letting my personality show up because I don't know. You just it was, and I'm like, I gotta change this. I've gotta, and then I started showing up as myself, as this humorous, approachable person that anybody can relate to and talk to. And then all of a sudden, it was like, yeah, they selected you, they selected you, they selected you. So that's, I think, when I realized, okay, I have to show up as myself, because speaking of authentic self, right? This is who you are. And it wasn't that I was hiding anything. It was just that I thought I had to be more serious and responsible
Mm.
than, and that's not what people wanted.
Right.
Yeah, when you're teaching, like you're teaching new coaches to develop that skill, showing up as yourself. What's your advice for them?
Yeah. So I don't teach. So we provide programs to support organizations. So we work with others, but I do give, many new coaches especially come to me for advice or mentoring. It's not coaching. Uh, let's be clear. And that's what I say. That's what I say. Show up as your authentic self. Don't hide. Also, I've done a lot of HR consulting. I've worked a lot with leaders. I think we actually we're really excited about ICF. We're creating a program on leaders using coaching skills. So everything, all the benefits of a coaching skill without being a coach, but really being authentic and showing up as yourself, approachable, um, being curious, asking questions. I think those are all elements that anyone can use, in leaders in particular.
Mm.
So that's kind of how I answer those questions.
Mm. You know, it makes me just think that as a coach, our coachees need us to be us
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
something else. If that relationship is really going to help expand their thinking, to really encourage them or to ask the hard questions, we really need to be us,
yeah.
um, and not anybody else, or, a blank slate, or, you know, just a wall. They really need us to be us. Yeah.
And if and this is also a realization, right? If they want somebody really serious, that is all business, that's not me.
Right.
If that's what they want, then they're better off selecting somebody else. And you have to come to that realization. It's just like an interview for a job. You show up as yourself because this is who you're going to get. You can hold it back so much, but you need to be yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's the secret sauce, making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a better relationship, but it's not for everyone. Not everybody's ready for it. Not everybody wants it.
Okay. So now you're looking for a coach, and what would you want from that coach? Is it the same thing? Is it really different? And the coaches that you've had or have, like, what do you want from them?
I think I want the same things. It starts with the chemistry, the relationship. You need to feel a connection. And you need somebody that is curious. You need someone that's going to challenge you, that is going to help you think out loud, non-judgmental. I mean, this is all, coaching 101, right? This is this is part of our competencies, right? The that and really that help you get to the next level, figure something out, be creative or innovative in a safe space. So that all starts with the chemistry, the relationship within the individual, feeling that you can talk about anything. Um, um, I recently talked to a head of HR who they had a pretty good coaching practice in one of it's not a member organizations. I was trying to recruit them to become a member organizations, and so I asked about a coaching culture and how are things, and he's like, yeah, good. All my guys have all my guys have coaches. And I said, so how's it going? Are they finding value? He said, yeah, the coaches, they complain that the coaches ask too many questions. And, and as a coach, you know, you have to chuckle, right? Because, and I said to him, maybe they have the wrong coach, because a good coach knows how to do it. Or maybe they don't want a coach. They may need a mentor or a consultant, and there's a distinct difference between them. So having the coach ask the right questions and really facilitating or that conversation, to me, to hire a coach, those are elements that I look for.
Nice. Maybe, you know, one of the things I didn't ask is what would you not want from a coach?
Yeah, judgmental. Yeah, too serious. If they're too serious, they can't laugh or have a sense. If a coach doesn't have a sense of humor, I don't think I could work with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that would be like, I think the intimidation factor is also plays in it for me. Like if I want someone that's willing to like challenge me in, you know, that's probably, you know, like, hey, look, I think you need to look at this. You just said this, let's talk about
right,
this.
right.
And I think I need a little bit of like, yeah, a little courage to be able to do that. And they need to have a like a lightened sense of humor about it,
Yeah, yeah,
because to me it feels very serious
yeah.
at times, and I need someone to just not take me so seriously.
Yeah,
Right.
and sometimes humor, and I use this as a leader, by the way. And in fact, I had an employee once say, you know, you kid around a lot, but when you kid around, you say things that make me think. And I'm like,
Totally.
I guess that was my intent. Because sometimes it's easier to say it jokingly, you know, respectful, obviously, but say, hey, you may want to look at, you know, and it eases the stress of having to address. If it becomes an issue, then obviously you have to implement other mechanisms. But to plant the seed, many times humor is an icebreaker, right? It's a way to kind of get them to start thinking about.
Yeah, it's disarming, you know, and it just allows for me to open up just a little bit, like, I can hear the truth inside the kid, especially if it's making
Right,
fun of me.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I need to hear that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not making fun of anybody.
I Yes.
It's just making things a little
Yes. Yeah.
lighter, right? Right,
Yeah.
right. 'Cause I'm laughing with you, not at you, right? The older I get, again, going back to marriage, right? The older, and so my wife and I have been married for 40 years. So we've been together for a very long time. We met when we were in high school, so high school sweethearts. The older and the more time we spend together, the less tolerant she becomes of my sense of humor and my personality. And I'm like, honey, you're not gonna change me. But
Heard all the jokes already.
but she's like, you know, how are people going to react? And like, well, this is who I am. And people always invite me to social gatherings because they
Yeah.
want me around, which I find like very, 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 I'm blessed and rewarded by interacting with people.
Yes, you completely becomes you annoy me,
Right,
which
exactly.
it's not a far. I think there's some letter differences. I have to analyze that,
Yeah.
but it is interesting, right? Of like when you are in a relationship, right, for an extended period of time. I'm kind of moving away from marriage, but you know, at when you have a longer term client or when you're inside an organization and people are, you know, they stop listening to you at deeper levels,
Yeah.
is very interesting. Like, and then the other thing I got that I'm stacking questions, I apologize, but You had mentioned like the person that was saying, well, your people are complaining because your coaches are asking too many questions, like the reluctant adopter. How do you turn the reluctant adopter if they're not willing to like try a little humor, be a little lighter, come with me on this journey?
Yeah, I think, and part of that conversation was, I think you need to evaluate if you have the right types of coaches working with you and your people. It may be, and going back to what are the objectives? Why is this individual working with a coach? Is it to help them reach their full potential? Is it to think innovatively? Or do they want somebody to solve their problems that coaches don't do? Because if you want somebody to solve your problem, hire a consultant, pay them a lot of money to tell you what they think you should be doing. But if you want someone that can help you figure out what you need to do and find your own solutions, then you hire a coach. So that was kind of the conversation, and he was like, "Oh, never thought about that."
Yeah,
Yeah, like what is
you
it
get
that you
to
want?
choose.
Yeah.
You get to
Right.
choose.
Exactly.
I love it.
And figure it out. Or maybe they need a mentor. Maybe they need someone with a lot of experience in the industry, and this was very industry specific, that can provide them with that expertise. And that's not a coach.
Yeah. And I think also that this gets me excited about this type of thing because I think one of the things that is really important in an organization is to define the differences for your people so that they could say like, oh no, what I really need is a consultant. And I call
Right.
them a coach, but they're actually a consultant, and that's really what I need. Um, and I think it's just really important because the word coaching gets thrown around, or they think everybody's a coach, and they're really more. We have just different roles and different roles that we would play in an organization. That's really important, I think, for the organization to just be have the courage to acknowledge, like, hey, actually, I really don't need a coach because I don't want it. I don't want them to ask questions. I just want them to tell me what to do.
Right. But we know that when you develop your own solutions, it's much more aligned to kind of your personal philosophy, your strategy. And I always say to people, if somebody gives me a solution and it works great, I may say, hey, thanks, that worked. But if it doesn't work,
Mm,
then there's somebody you blame. If you come up with your own solution and I help as a coach, I helped you, there's nobody to blame but yourself. And it's okay. It's a safe space. You tried it out, it didn't work. Let's reimagine what it is that we do. But it's almost like when there's an initiative in an organization, you need to get buy-in. You need people involved in the process so that when we implement it, now we are together figuring this out. It's not you did it, I did it. It's if consultants push things on you, whether you think you need them or not.
mm,
And that's, I think, why coaching is so rewarding.
mm. It's good.
What are three resources, books, poetry, music, that you would recommend for people developing their
Do you hear
coaches?
how he threw in that
That music.
poetry again? Music, yeah,
I did. So I have Matt and I have been going back and forth because he originally he put in books
three
into like
books.
this question,
Yeah,
right? And
What
then
if you're not a
I
reader?
resist
What if you're
it.
not a reader?
See, and
so
that's why I'm working. So I started drafting a coloring playbook for coaching for my class that I teach at NYU because I refuse to add any more content to the syllabus.
and I've seen it, and it's good. It is a good coloring book.
Yeah, that's
I
cool. That's cool.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So Dave, I'll humor you, right? With a song. My song would be "Can't Stop the Feeling" by Justin Timberlake. It
I love
it's
it.
a very happy song. I think it talks about Pharrell Williams also has a great song. But all those good feeling, good vibe songs are makes me even happier. In terms of books and I, Matt,
Poetry,
with
poetry.
poetry, no poetry. I think you have to either love poetry is very you either love it or hate it, right? It's polarizing. You either embrace it, love it, and you're great at it, or I think you're born with that ability.
In marriage year one, marriage year 40, yeah, it's no longer interesting.
Right,
I got
exactly.
it.
But a couple of books I wanted to reference that we use is we have friend of the firm, a fellow consultant. She's part of our independent review board, IRB. She has been for a while, but she's also a consultant in the DC metro area. Sandra Stewart, Sandy. And she's written a book, Building the Core Competencies of Change, a guide to coaching in organizations that she's collaborated with us. We created journey cards to help organizations in their growth of a coaching culture within. And when I say coaching culture, we define it as hiring external coaches, developing internal coaching capabilities, having coaching available to everyone, and then leaders using coaching skills. So all of those elements are there. So that's a really good, if you're thinking about creating a culture of coaching within an organization, that's a great book. And then I just got Adam Grant's Hidden Potential that I just, Matt, have you read it?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I'm going through it now, and it's really cool because it really talks about the secret sauce. What is your secret sauce? So I don't know if maybe you can call him and say, hey, can you come on our podcast? And I'd love to talk about your book. But it's actually really defining what it is, what's that hidden potential that you have, and it's not being the smartest, it's not being the most hardworking. It's how do you come to terms with what you bring and use that to reach your full potential. So it's a really, really, really good one. And then there's another one by Josh Bernstein. It's called The Seven Secrets of the World's Most Enduring Employee-Focused Organizations, Irresistible. And it's about companies being irresistible. And we've all worked for companies that are irresistible, that are like, oh my gosh, it's such a great, beyond engagement. What makes this company so endearing, right? So irresistible that you wouldn't even think of entertaining. So those, I haven't started the book, but I'm excited to get into it because I think it'll be helpful in really aligning with what we're doing because we want to empower the world through coaching. I mean, I really love that tagline that I use a lot. I don't know if it's official or not, but so much of what ICF does is and through our members and through our community, we're empowering the world through coaching. I mean, and what a tremendous impact we have on the world. I mean, if ever think about it, if everybody had a coach, how much better would we be? So those are a few of them. So I satisfied Matt's requirement of 3 books, and Dave, I give you
Couple of songs.
no poetry.
Yeah.
I'll work on the poetry. How's that?
Mm,
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. It's a choice.
yeah.
It's you can also do coaching mantras. That's another one, like how you prepare before you go into a client
Ooh.
conversation.
Oh, those
Like
are
what you
Yeah. Dave, Robert, it's now sort of time that Dave and I just have a chance to just kind of reflect on what you said. And you know, I don't know whether, well, one, I think it's really what you described is really like you're very approachable. That approachability as your secret sauce makes it very attractive to be around someone like you. And I would want, if I was a leader, just to be around a coach that I felt like I could just show up as me. And you wouldn't, you know, you may have in your mind something about that, but I could just still tell you really what was going on and you use the word forthcoming. And actually that's, in all of our discussions and seeing each other at Uplift, that's what I felt like. That sauce of forthcoming is one of those things that I really like. Um, it is what attracts me to coaches. So I really found that to be just, there's something about it. Like when I show up as a coach, that's just, hey, here's who I am. It's not mysterious to the coachee. It is more like I know what I'm going to get.
Right.
And I found that to be,
Thank
yeah,
you. That's
good
really
quality.
great.
Mhm. Dave?
I building on what Matt said, first I Robert Garcia, I do feel like we're related from some previous life. Like it's good to be hanging out with like-minded people. So thank you. I love the safe space that you create. Like you invite people in with humor and who you are. And I also I think that coaches who are developing they're working on being their own authentic selves and sometimes feel like when they have to challenge a client they need to put on a different role or play a different role. And my sense and what I get from you is it's actually through the strength of creating that safe place that you can challenge clients in deeper ways.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that with
That's
us
great.
today.
That's great. And then, and thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I was really looking forward to it when Matt and I talked. And he's like, yeah, I've got this podcast. I'd love to. And I was like feeling nervous, right? I was like, oh, what am I going to say? What are they going to ask? And thank you for creating this safe space. And actually it's been thought provoking. It's been, when we have conversations like this, it's like, you have to think about, things that you normally take for granted or they come natural. I think everybody shows up like me. And I've had people that I've worked with that try to be like me, but we're all unique and individual. We all bring different, sometimes we relate really well to each other and we get each other, but not everybody gets us. And that's okay. So I also teach at Florida International University. I teach a HR class and masters, and professor ratings, right? I'm assuming you get evaluations. There's always a couple of students that don't get you, or are looking for somebody else. Or when you do a training program, I've done a lot of training, and you get the evaluation, and everybody gives you great reviews, but there's a couple that don't give you the 5 or the 10, whatever that number is, and I think it's maturity. It's okay. It's okay. It's you can't be everything to everyone all the time.
Yeah. Well, we want you to be you,
Right, right, right,
right? And as a coach, we don't want you to be anybody but you.
right, right.
Um, yeah, that's really good. Dave, why don't one of the things we want our listeners to know, if you do want to reach out to us, you can find us on Instagram at leadership.the.secret sauce. You're welcome to put something out there or connect or follow us, where we'll have some of our clips or things like that. Don't know, we have a new social media and communications person starting with helping us out for the summer. And yeah, Robert, we really appreciate your time. It was a real joy to see that. If someone wants to get in touch with ICF and coaching and organizations, or maybe they're part of a larger organization, or what would they do?
You can reach me on LinkedIn, Robert Garcia, ICF. I should pop up. Love for you to follow me, get all these followers, right? And follow my travels throughout the world. People are like, you are going to cool places, and interacting with really cool companies. Or you can send me an email at ICF. It's on the website, robert.garcia@coachingfederation.org.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank you. And just a final shout out back to our sponsor. If you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, Character Matters Coaching can empower you to overcome your obstacles. Reach out to Matt at charactermatters.us.com to learn more about his transformative coaching approach. Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate getting a chance to get to know you a little bit better, and I look forward to staying connected.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. This is a true pleasure. And congratulations on the podcast, and best of luck for continued success. You've had great people on it, and looking forward to hearing more.
Great. Great. Thank you. Until next time, have a great day.